You had so much time to finish chewing whatever you're
It's so
chewing.
chewy. Sorry.
But you got beat by the countdown, so we're live on air.
Yeah, sorry. I'm also aware of how visceral and horrible it is to hear someone eating on a podcast. So apologies if you're getting some residual mastification.
Have you finished?
Yes.
Okay, nice.
I mean, yeah, basically.
Welcome to Send Better Emails, the world's best email marketing podcast,
Wow.
run by people called Jamie and James.
Is that what you had planned?
What for our intro?
Yeah, you know, when you message and you were like, "Oh, I've got an idea for the intro."
No.
Oh.
Should I launch into that?
Yeah, go on.
Okay, nice. Right, so I wanted to play almost like a little game with you in the intro. And you've had no prep for this, and I've had 5 minutes prep for this, so it might go completely wrong. But what I want to do is I want to run. I've written some spicy takes, right? And I hopefully the ones that I've written and ChatGPT have written, we've collabed on this.
Okay.
Hopefully they're the kind of spicy takes that'll make you go, like raise your eyebrows or make you go, ooh.
Right, so like actual hot takes then, as opposed to your usual not even warm takes.
Yeah, hot takes, but like spicy as well.
Okay.
What was the advert where I used to go? It makes you go, ooh.
Things that make you go, ooh.
Yeah.
What was that? It's a shame for them that their slogan is more memorable than their product.
Yeah. I can't remember.
Wasn't Pepperami, was it?
No,
it wasn't. No.
But that's a good segue into the spicy takes.
Yeah.
That's the kind of question that listeners are going to be screaming at it, and we're just completely oblivious as to what that advert was.
Yeah, I'm googling it.
Okay, go on then, do that, and then we'll do the spicy takes.
It was McDonald's.
See, I thought it was McDonald's, but then so it's pre. I'm loving it. Okay.
Yeah, must have been. Yeah.
Right. So, I'm going to list out a few spicy takes.
Okay.
And then what I want you to do is I want you to rate them. Maybe you can do 2 ratings. One spiciness scale from 1 to 10. So 10 super spicy.
Right. Yeah.
And then maybe not a second rating. Maybe then you can say, actually, I disagree with that and here's why, or I agree with that and here's why.
Okay.
Okay. So you're going to be on the spot a little bit here.
Yeah. I'm ready.
Right. Okay. Number 1. If you're not monetizing your newsletter, it's just a diary.
Okay, I'd say on the spice scale, that's like that's pretty tame.
Okay.
I'm gonna say that's a sriracha sauce of takes.
Wait, what's number 10? What sauce equates to number 10?
I don't know, like some sort of ghost pepper, you know, like one of these specialist hot sauces. I'm trying to think of that Wings interview, Hot Ones. You know,
yeah.
Like we're talking. That's like the beginner drumstick, the one that you've just
yeah. Okay. Fine.
No, I like it though. I think I probably do agree. Being put on the spot, I'd ideally want to think through it, but I probably do agree. I guess my counter would be that it's really great practice to have a diary, and just a diary makes it sound like a diary is a bad thing. And I think actually there's a process of writing a newsletter that is great for the writer, regardless of how many people are reading. So I would say if you're not monetizing, yeah, you probably are writing something more akin to a diary, but that doesn't need to be a bad thing. And I would still encourage you to write a newsletter to no one, theoretically, because the process of writing a newsletter, similar to the process of recording a podcast, is quite a good exercise in terms of clarifying your thoughts.
Okay, next one. You don't need a niche, you need a backbone.
Well, I don't understand that. Do you mean... sorry, I don't really understand what
I guess
what that
in
means.
terms of like your newsletter proposition and what you're talking about in your newsletter. So a content niche.
Right. Okay. So you don't need a niche, you need a backbone.
Yeah.
I.e., like you need like strong opinions. I would say that is spicier.
Yeah.
I'd say that's spicier. I would probably disagree with it.
Okay.
I think lots of like everyone has opinions, and opinions are quite easy to come by. And yeah, confidently expressing those is a hallmark of a great newsletter. I think like people are interested in opinions, and opinions are AI proof to some extent. But I think you definitely need to have a clearly defined audience for those opinions, which I guess is a niche, right? So clearly defining who your newsletter's for, in the same way that you would do that. You'd do that if you were launching a product or a service. You'd make sure that you understand exactly who you're targeting. I think the same should apply to newsletters.
Okay, nice. Did that get a rating on the spicy scale?
Oh yeah, I mean, I don't know enough hot sauces after sriracha.
No, I mean 1 to 10's fine.
Yeah, okay. So if sriracha's like a 2, I'm going to put that at a 3.5.
Okay. I've just noticed that Hasbull is behind me on that.
Oh yeah, has he got like an Aperol spritz or something?
No, it's a beer.
Oh, it's a beer. Nice.
Yeah, I'm gonna move him.
Okay.
That's not a child with a beer. Look up Hasbro if you don't know.
That's also an interesting pillow behind that. You've got like a plethora of interesting pillows behind you.
This one's more socially acceptable.
Yeah.
Okay, next one. Giveaways are a lazy way to build a newsletter list.
Okay, yeah. I'm going to give that a 4 out of 10 on the SPY scale.
Okay.
And my instinct is to agree with that. Lazy is maybe the not the first word I would use. I would say that giveaways are a tenuous way to build a newsletter list. Giveaways can still be quite high effort and can still require quite a lot of input to make really good and compelling. And there are plenty of newsletter builders that try giveaways and find that actually it doesn't work that well. So it still takes effort and skill to make them good, but I would say it's tenuous because the reason someone's subscribing can be just for the giveaway alone. And once they've learned that they haven't won the giveaway, they are less likely to engage with subsequent emails that you send them. So they tend to be quite bad for building high quality subscribers, which is ultimately what we want.
Nice. You're doing much better on the spot than I thought, and that's not
really?
a reflection on you. It's just a reflection on anyone being put on the spot. Next one. No one actually cares about your weekly thoughts unless you're famous or funny.
I strongly disagree with that. Okay. Strongly disagree.
Wait, spicy rating first.
Spicy rating, yeah, I'm going to give that a 6.
Okay.
I think that is really spicy.
We're starting to sweat now.
I think it's making me sweat in part because I think a lot of our clients wouldn't consider themselves funny or famous, and we would definitely tell them that they ought to be making newsletters. I strongly disagree because I think everyone ought to be writing a newsletter because everyone has something interesting to say. And I think that doesn't need to come from a place of fame or humor. I think there are plenty of other contributions that non-famous people can make. When expertise is the obvious one, right? There are subject matter experts who nobody's heard of who are fascinating to listen to, and it's not because they're funny or famous. It's because they really know their stuff. And I would say that's probably the most obvious genre of value that those people can give to the world, and newsletter is probably the best medium for that.
Nice. Okay, I will just say that these statements that I'm making are
of course. You don't believe them necessarily.
No, I'm not subscribed. They're intentionally provocative.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Next one. The average creator's newsletter strategy is Hope and MailChimp.
Yeah, nice. That's another 6 out of 10 on the SPY scale.
Okay.
I would probably dispute MailChimp. I think MailChimp I think small businesses gravitate towards MailChimp, creators gravitate towards Substack.
Yeah.
I'd say Substack is sort of the MailChimp of the creator world.
Substack and Hope then.
Yeah, Substack and Hope. Yeah, I'd say it's incredibly easy to create a Substack, and it kind of lays it all out for you, which is sort of what MailChimp's going for small businesses. Like, they want to make it as easy and as accessible as possible to start email marketing. Substack is the same, but for newsletters. And so it's easy for a creator to go over to Substack and think, okay, this is where I can start. Yeah, and Hope, indeed. Yeah, I think there is an attitude of newsletters of build it and they will come. And whilst that might work on some channels, it doesn't work for newsletters. The discovery function for newsletters is pretty poor. And Substack, part of their USP is trying to address that and to make newsletters discoverable. It doesn't really work. They have various kind of hacks and tricks that they use to try and increase the number of organic subscribers you get. For example, if you subscribe to one Substack newsletter, they will automatically subscribe you to others unless you actively opt out. Again, this creates a low quality list. So unfortunately, the only way to create a really high quality list is to be incredibly intentional with your growth. And that requires much more than hope. That requires a strategy.
Nice. Okay, I'm going to go for 2 more. We're at 10 minutes, so I want to make sure we have enough time.
This could be a mini podcast.
Yeah, it could be.
I like this.
Okay, you can make more money from 300 subscribers than 30,000 TikTok followers.
Yeah, so you're touching on the 100 to 1 rule there, if my maths is correct, which is the idea that 100 social subscribers equals followers even equals 1 newsletter subscriber. Yeah, it really depends, this one. I think there's definitely a world in which that is true. And let's take the extreme example here and say that I write a newsletter for private jet collectors or rare art collectors, right? So if I have 300 subscribers for a newsletter about buying £20 million jets, that's an incredibly valuable audience. You know, if I make 1 conversion in 2 years, that's an incredibly valuable newsletter. Yeah, of course, there's a world where 300 subscribers can be incredibly valuable. Equally, if you have a TikTok channel and it's about private jets, I don't know why. Let's just continue with the private jets. And there's 30,000 on there. That could also be incredibly valuable. And some of the brand partnerships that you might get through that could be remarkably lucrative for you. So it all comes down to who those people actually are. And I would say the general rule of thumb is that your newsletter audience is going to be way higher quality than your TikTok audience, because there is proactivity when it comes to opting into receiving emails. It's quite a high intent action because you're giving away part of your personal data in exchange for that information. So therefore it follows that people on your newsletter list are going to be that much more likely to convert or do what you're asking them to do. TikTok, it's harder to build a loyal following.
Okay, nice. So 1 spiciness scale for that one?
I'm going to say that was pretty unspicy because it's quite a common narrative in the newsletter world. So I'm giving that a 3 out of 10.
Okay, we haven't gone above 6 yet, I don't think.
No.
I need to work on these.
I really want like a 9.
Okay. Well, I'm going to do 1 more. And did you agree or disagree with that last one?
It's just too dependent. I'd say it's possible, yes.
Okay. Last one. Social media is dead. Long live the inbox.
Yeah, okay. I'll give that a 7 just to make you feel good about these have been good. No, of course, I disagree with that as much as I would love the idea that everyone starts looking at the inbox. I'd say the inbox is very underrated. But I would say that the common narrative, if there is one, is actually the other way around. Email is dead, long live social media. Of course, I disagree with both. The fact of the matter is that both can coexist in this world, and there's plenty of room for the two of them. And to take it one step further, the most successful newsletter creators and the most successful social media stars are utilizing both to their full potential, and that symbiotic relationship between the two is where you make magic.
Nice, cool. That's it for spicy takes. We got up to 7. I feel like it was a sympathetic 7 that you gave me.
I mean, to be fair, I could have been a bit more generous with some of the previous ones. There were some spicy ones in there. I was maybe being a bit harsh.
Okay. I'll work on some more for next time. So that took a bit longer than I thought, actually.
Yeah, classic me.
Yeah.
So I actually do wonder whether we should square this off as a little mini episode.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe like a midweek episode, like a Monday post or something.
Yeah.
Because it is 15 minutes, and I feel like when we get to the meat of our conversation, we should dedicate a whole podcast to that, because it is gonna be quite a meaty one.
Nice. Okay. Let's do that then. We'll round it off. I guess that's it. Nice speaking to you, James.
Yeah, and you. All right, mate. Thanks for your hot takes.
I won't take this personally.
All right.
Go drink some milk after all those spicy takes.
Oh, mate. I'm going to feel this in a couple of days, let me tell you.
Don't be crass, James. Just go and drink your milk. Eat a carrot and yogurt. Those things are supposed to be good for... You love carrots as well.
I do, yeah.
Anyway, thanks, everyone.
All right.
Bye.
Thank you.